Hello, and welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I am your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is...
Adam, and I play Jules, an Azarketti bard.
I'm Joel, and I play Dax, a kobold rogue.
I am Ryan, I play Ryu, a tiefling magus.
Taryn, and I play Waltz, a human champion.
Liars, except Ryan, because today we are doing Ryu's origin session. So Joel, Adam, and Taryn are going to be helping me out, just like in the Waltz origin, playing some NPCs, which means non-player characters.
Playable character. Yeah, we know that. You told us last time.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes people like open a podcast and just hit shuffle and hit a random episode. They might not know what NPC is yet. All right. Or they maybe forgot. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to follow Ryu's origins. So some of his backstory and things like that led him on the adventure you've been listening to, starting at Digsby's wagon. So we're going to go way, way back and figure out how this monotone Bruce Lee, spiky-haired, horned guy started hanging out with Digsby's crew. Does that sound good to everybody?
Oh yeah, strap in.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
All right, here we go. The harsh desert planet of Desolus is ruled by the Fangdom, a ruthless goblinoid empire that engulfs the entire planet. Any who oppose them are destroyed. Those that flee by node are hunted by an elite squad known as the Kaningo. Few can withstand the power of the Fang, but the Arakai are among those few. Though scarce in number, the resilient Arakai wage war against their fearsome oppressors. It is among this proud warrior clan that we find a young Ryu meticulously practicing his swordsmanship under the supervision of his mother, Natsu, her red eyes precisely observing his unrefined footwork. You'll have to do better than that if you hope to impress your father when he returns. Again.
Yes, mother. Yeah.
You won't be able to defeat a hobgoblin with your handsomeness alone. Again.
Yes, mother. Yeah.
You're relying too much on your sight. Trust your body. It knows what to do. Again.
I'll keep my eyes open. Yeah.
Do you want to remain a Wakai forever? Again.
Yes, mother. Yeah. And then I'll break the sword I'm using on whatever maybe bamboo stand that I've been striking. And I'll toss it to the side and I go to the pile of unbroken swords.
And then she says, "That's enough for today. Come here."
No, mother, I can keep going.
You'll need to be able to stand when your father returns. He'll have more training for you.
Father returns today?
Yes.
He's been on that scouting mission for quite some time.
Yes, he has. Take a seat, catch your breath. You'll be summoned soon.
Yes, mother. And I take a seat.
I've seen you eyeing vicious Kenoshi. If you ever hope to wield Botan, you'll have to do better than that. But aggression alone will not get you there. You must rely on your training. Clear your mind. Feel the power of your aura within you. Do you understand, Ryu?
Yes, mother. Do you really think I could one day wield one of the legendary blades?
I don't know. Are you going to start listening?
Yes, mother.
Then, perhaps. And then, off in the distance, you hear, "Wakai, gather." And you look over and see Kiz, who is a young, recently awakened Arakai, which in your clan you refer to as an Okita. He has 2 piercings in his ear, the first of which at least signals that he has awakened, and the second you know to mean that he has been granted the honor of training Wakai, which are young, unproven, unawakened Arakai, which is what you are, and he is summoning you and other Wakai for a lecture.
I'll look to my mother, just looking for permission to leave.
Run along now, and remember, trust in your aura. And she pats you on the back.
I start to leave and start to step away, and before I fully leave our space, I'll turn back to her and say, "One last question, mother.
You may speak.
Do you really think I'm handsome?"
Whether you will awaken remains unseen, but regardless, you are the most handsome Arakai. And she smiles at you and tilts her head. But the smile quickly goes away. It's like a brief second.
I also smile for a brief second and lose it immediately. "Thank you, mother." And I leave towards my Okita.
So you jog over to your Okita, and gathered around him are other Wakai, which let's introduce our NPCs. Joel, let's start with you. Who is your Wakai?
I'm Daro. I'm a skinny, kind of nerdy Wakai who's just kind of figured life out still.
Excellent. And all of these Wakai, just like all Erekai, have dark olive brown skin, red eyes, white hair, and short bone white horns protruding from their foreheads. So was there any specific facial features, hairstyle that you have?
One of my horns is shorter than the other one, just by a little bit, and I'm really self-conscious about it.
Perfect. Adam, what about you? Who is your Wakai?
My name is Sota. I'm a puffy Urukai. I have a mullet like Joe Dirt.
Oh, yes.
And
Hey, mullets
when I
are back
come
in
up,
style, unironically, so good for you.
when I come up, I'm running in my signature run that I'm convinced is the optimal way to run.
Is it
And
Naruto
it's-
running? I swear.
No,
Okay.
you clench your fists and you put them kind of like where your belt would be, and then you bend over just a little bit, and then you run as fast as you can. And then when I get up to the group, I completely biff it.
Gosh.
And I get up and dust myself and have a look of intensity.
All right, I'm going to take a brief moment to remind the audience the Erekai are cool, by the way. Don't let them fool you.
Why do you need to remind them?
Oh, no reason. It might be the run, though. All
We
right.
purge all the uncool ones.
Yeah. Okay, Taryn, who is your Wakai?
Hello, I am Kantu. I am probably one of the greatest Erekai to ever be an Erekai. I have the perfectest horns and very nice hair. I am walking up very relaxed because I know for a fact I am going to be the greatest Erekai ever.
Wow.
This is excellent.
God, my friends are losers.
Who are you talking about? I am not a loser. I am the greatest Erekai. You are very fortunate to be in my presence at the same time that we are all kids.
Hello,
At the same
Sota.
time, we were all kids. That's
What are the
that's how
chances,
people
you know?
interact. They state their current age when communicating.
I'm so happy I know you guys, as we are all in our late 20s and early 30s.
Hello, Sota, Tantu, Naru.
Ryu, how wonderful to see you.
Hey guys.
Looking handsome as always.
Yes, thank you. You as well.
Do you mean it?
Of course, I wouldn't lie.
I will let Mother know.
Are you all ready for today's teachings?
I was born ready.
Yes, I've heard from some of the other Erekai that we are playing Shukara today.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I have not once won a round of
That's okay,
Shikara.
you'll get him.
I know that you guys may not know what that is. I definitely know what Shukara is, but if one of you want to explain it to me, that would be fantastic, just to prove that you also know it.
Yes, I quite enjoy Shukara. Shukara is a game to test the might of our auras. We all stand above a hill, and whichever of us is the last one standing upon that hill, slowly thrusting off one another with the power of our auras, is declared the winner.
None of you guys stand a chance. And you turn around and you see Jin. He's got a very long, sharp, jagged face. His eyebrows seem to be constantly pointed downward with a sinister expression. He has slicked back hair that reaches towards his shoulders, and he says, "You pathetic worms, what makes you think you'll win a round of Shukara?"
I don't know.
That's what I thought, Shorthorn.
Come on.
This one here can't even run up to formation. And he kicks Sota.
Did you not see my run? It is optimized for maximum efficiency.
Seems to be optimized for falling there, chubby.
There was a rock in the way.
No, there wasn't. Look, I can still see your footprints. Follow the path. No rock, idiot.
That's because I kicked it. Ryu, help.
Yes, Ryu. Why don't you help? I saw you training with your mother.
Mother is quite strong. Sota, if you wish to be a warrior, you must stand up for yourself.
Well said, Ryu. Jin,
Yeah, get him.
shush.
Yeah. I look forward to facing you in a round of Shukara. Sota. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, they say.
Soda's eyes get big, and he gulps.
It's okay, you got this, Sota.
Jin turns his head to Tantu. Quiet for once. Little know-it-all doesn't have anything to say.
Oh, there's just nothing that you're saying that I need to respond to. You're obviously too much of an idiot to see that one of us four is going to beat you. Ryu's obviously very strong, and I am one of the most perfect Erekai so far, so why don't you just shush?
Your arrogance will only add to your shame, Tantu.
No, it won't.
He just makes a confused look on his face.
This is the best
Got it.
voice of all
Sure,
time.
yeah. And he looks to Ryu
You're wrong.
and says, "Aren't you the leader of these buffoons? What do you have to say, Ryu?
I prefer to do my talking on the battlefield.
If you even make it that far."
Well, why don't we wait until then? Settle this there, Jin. I believe the teachings are starting soon, so why don't you find your seat?
Can't wait. And he looks at all of you one at a time, just scanning down the row, and then he spits in the sand and turns around. And then Kiz, the Okita, positions himself in front of the group and says, "Silence, Wakai, take a seat." And he gestures into the sand, and you all know that means to fall to your knees and place your hands on your thighs and sit perfectly upright.
When Sota goes to sit, he loses his balance and rolls back.
I'll try to catch Sota if I can.
Jin snickers. Pathetic.
Can I hold Sota up before he falls?
Let's do an athletics check. Whatever your level 1 modifiers are, cut them in half.
Oh, I was going to say, it would be kind of funny, though, if 5-year-old Ryu had the same stats as adult Ryu. So still a 19, though.
You manage to get behind Sota as he falls and hold him upright.
Don't listen to him, Soda.
Thanks, guys. One of these days, I'll learn how to sit down.
How do you have a cold on Desolus? You sound terrible.
I don't have a cold. It's an ongoing problem with my septum or something. I don't know.
What? What is that even ongoing problem? Whatever.
Sorry, Soto, this is going to go a little over his head. You could tell his intelligence is not very good.
This is a good one.
Also, very nice catch, Ryu. You are very athletic and strong, and I have a lot of respect
Silence.
I immediately dropped to the floor.
Tantu, for once, silence yourself and do some learning rather than pretending you know everything.
I'll look around like he's talking to somebody else behind me.
So Kiz begins pacing in front of the group, thinking to himself, you're all very quiet, waiting to hear his words. You're all very excited, knowing you're going to play Shukara today, and you're just eager to get to that. And anytime you have the opportunity to learn from an Okita is one you want to seize. So you're listening very intently. And he pauses, looks up, looks back at you all, turns to face you and says, "For thousands of years, we have been at war with the Fangdom. We did not choose this, but that which is inflicted upon us will be returned tenfold. We fight to survive, yes, but we also fight for our clan, culture, and freedom. In this fight will only end one way, with our demise or theirs." And he begins pacing in front of the group, all of your shoulders tense up, just eager to hear what he has to say next. And then he says, "Their army is massive, their walls high, and their resources vast. But, Wakai, flowing through your veins is the blood of survivors. Echoing through your minds is the wisdom of sages. Surging through your muscles is the strength of warriors. And churning within your very soul is an Erekai's greatest weapon, your aura." And you all kind of light up, knowing that you are among the group of Wakai that have some affinity with their aura. You have demonstrated some ability to channel it. Not every Erekai can do that to the level that a warrior should, but you've shown some potential, and that is why you're here. So hearing him say that obviously stirs some excitement within you.
Ryu's red eyes will glisten in admiration. This is everything he's wanted since he could remember.
You glance over and see Jin. He has the most confident look on his face, with his brow tilted down, a little bit of a smirk. And Kiz says, "Each of you have channeled this weapon to some extent, but should you have the honor of awakening, your aura will grow immensely." And he reaches towards his belt and starts to slide out his Odachi, which you all know to be called a Kanoshi, which is a very special Erekai sword that has the ability to channel profound magic. So you can all manipulate your auras innately without the sword, but certain spells you need this sword to cast. So seeing an Erekai pull this out in front of you is very cool. So it's this dark blade with a red holographic finish shimmering across it, and he says, "Your Kenoshi will help you channel this power. But if you have not first mastered your innate aura, you will have no chance of becoming an Okita." And he starts to give a brief demonstration of channeling his aura without the blade as he slides it back into his sheath.
Ryu,
What is it, Sota?
do you think I'll ever get a Kenoshi?
Well, perhaps if you learn to stand up for yourself and stay on your feet, I suppose it's possible for all of us.
First, I have to learn to stand.
Not a chance. You look over and see Jin shaking his head.
Ryu, I think if anybody has a chance of getting that Kenoshi other than me, it's definitely you. We two have the best chances of getting that.
I thought you were smart. Apparently you're not very good at calculating odds.
I am just analyzing the general skill of everybody. You are of no concern to me. We are obviously much better than you. You are trash.
This is Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have Trump?
Nobody's better
hair,
than me.
but like white?
You mean a toupee?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So someone has another
He does.
toupee in the origins.
Yeah. The return of the toupee.
Jin, you speak as though you do not wish for all of us to awaken and receive our Kenoshis.
I only wish the most worthy warriors become Okita, and none of you are worthy.
Well, my wish is for us all to be worthy.
And a wish it shall remain.
This guy has like real BBEG energy.
Ryu will turn his head from Jin and go back to paying attention to his instructor.
And Kiz wraps up his brief demonstration and says, "Shukara has long since been an exercise for honing one's aura in battle." And all of you take a deep breath in with excitement, knowing that the rumors you heard are true and you will in fact be playing Shukara today. And he says, "The game is simple. Be the first to knock your opponent from the platform." And he turns over and points to a raised stone pillar amidst the rocky dunes that you're receiving your lecture in, and says, "And do so using nothing but your aura.
Oh,
Any questions?" Jin pats Sota on the back and says, "Maybe you should ask if there's a weight limit."
Oof.
Some real fat shaming in this episode.
No joke. This guy is a jerk after all.
This is just unfiltered Zach, actually.
Yeah, I go around just tapping people. Hey.
Sota's eyes water up a little bit, and he just keeps looking forward.
Oh, now you're going to cry? Pathetic.
Sota, it's okay. You don't have to take that.
Yeah, tell him what you really think of him, Soto. We got your back.
Jin, I think you...
Sota,
Huh?
since you seem to think that you are in charge of this lecture, you shall go first. Rise.
No.
Uh-oh.
And who among you wishes to... And as he's saying that, Jin stands up immediately and says, "I'll go, Akita." "Very well. Climb the pillar." And he steps to the side.
Before Sota steps away, Ryu will put his hand on Sota's shoulder and just put a fist up in front of him, like, "You got this."
Ryu, none of my family has survived a game of Shukara.
Survive the game. Oh,
Wait,
goodness.
Sota, are you sure?
As you know, as you...
So intense. I love it. The child game.
They all died. They keep
so,
playing it.
So winning for you is like not dying, basically.
As you're all aware, my two older brothers who have come before me have both died of
Diabetes.
Dysentery.
Heart disease.
High cholesterol.
Mesothelioma.
As you're aware, both of my brothers that have come before me, my eldest, Wuja, and my middle brother, Laika, have died from unforeseen accidental injuries playing Shukara.
It's like such a long conversation to have when you're like summoned to go.
Oh my god, I had no idea, Sota. I'm so sorry.
If I don't pass this test, there's no more hope for my family.
Sota, you must have faith in yourself, for what we have learned in the teachings is that we learn from the mistakes of those before us. So if they died playing Shukaku, wait, what's it called? Shukara. If they died,
We made up way too many words for this session.
I know, our poor
Shukaku is
listeners are going to have no idea what's
uh,
going on.
One Tails in Naruto. Sorry. So if they died playing Shukara, then you should not die playing Shukara. And I give him another fist bump, like, you can do it.
Wise words. I will not land on my head. And I'll bump his fist.
You turn around and Jin is already atop the pillar and says, "Think you could manage to climb this?"
Yes! And then I'll clench my fists and shove them into my hips. I'll run up and I'll grab the pillar and then go nowhere at first. And then I will gradually, very slowly, awkward amount of time, shuffle my way up.
As you're climbing, Jin says, "Does it count as a victory if you can't make it to the top?" And even the Okita Kiz does a slight chuckle at that, but then instantly removes his smile.
I walk over to Kiz and I say, "Excuse me, Okita.
"Yes, Ryu."
I feel I should ask this, but is there a weight limit for this stone pillar?" I ask on behalf of my comrade.
He just looks at you and says, "There is not."
Very well. I give a short bow and I turn towards the pillar.
He gives a short bow to you as well. Turns back to the pillar. So, Sota, you crest the pillar and see Jin standing there in a very formidable stance, his legs spread at shoulder width, his head angled down, and says, "Tell you what, Sota, I'll give you one for free. What do you say?"
Deal.
"I suppose victory for you would be not dying in this simple child's game."
I'll look to the floor or to the ground and remember Wuja and Laika,
Who are dead?
who are dead. Picture their bodies there.
Freak child's game accidents.
Did they at least die as adults, since that's kind of dark?
No.
No.
I'm the last of my family.
The last of your
if I
family or your
die-
parents did too? This is really tragic. Never mind.
My mom's alive, but yeah, I'd rather not go into it. But yeah, if Sota's gone, that's it. It's just Wuja, Laika, Sota.
Oh no. Oh my god.
no.
There it is.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
Is that the first time you said them together like that?
yes.
Like that, yes.
Nice.
So I'll take a more confident stance and I'll channel my aura.
You are going to cast the cantrip Gale Blast. You focus your aura, thinking of your brothers. You think of Ryu, instilling confidence in you. You're proud of yourself for being able to climb the pillar at least. And you look to Jin, who has fat shamed you, I guess. And
What an
take
evil
your
person.
attempt at vengeance and cast out Gale Blast. An aura puffs from your body, sending a little cloud of sand towards Jin. It brushes his knee, barely affecting his robes, and he says, "I'll be honest, I thought you had more in you than that." And then he clenches his fists, turns his head down, and casts out Gale Blast. And a large aura surges from his body. Sand flies towards you. Roll me a fortitude save with a -2 modifier.
That's a non-net 1.
Oh my goodness.
Apropos.
Oh no.
You are stricken in the chest and are sent flying 10 feet backwards. You topple off the tower, falling
No!
and land in a pile of sand that erupts upwards in a cloud, and you take 4 damage.
Sota lays there motionless.
Like a
For a
hand sticking
second.
out of the sand.
Like, is he dead? And then he farts.
I'll go over to help Sota up, and I put my hand out for him to grab.
I'll grab his hand.
As I pick him up, I'll kind of lean in to whisper to him. I mentioned before, a warrior should have faith in him or herself, as well as stay steady on their feet. But I suppose I should also mention, a warrior never farts.
Great. Never
Wait a
farts
minute.
once.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
And never in front of an audience.
Sota will, hey, and bow.
I give him a short bow back. You did your
Thank
best.
you, Ryu. I did. Hey, Ryu,
Sota,
I'm not dead. I did it. I did it.
you did. Let's rejoin the group.
I imagine Sota straight arm runs back to the group with his mullet flowing in the wind, sand falling out of his hair as he...
In his mind, he's like passed the test. This is he's not dead.
He's gonna come home and his mom's gonna be like, "You didn't die?"
Jin looks back to the other Wakai and says, "Who's next?" So for the next 15, 20 minutes or so, the rest of the Wakai go to face Jin, and one at a time are sent toppling from the tower. Ryu, although you're eager to fight Jin, you have been patiently waiting for Kiz to call upon you. And as Naro and Tantu fall to Jin, Kiz looks to you and says, "Ryu, you are next. Ascend the tower."
Yes, Okita. And I start walking towards the stone pillar.
Ryu, keep your feet firm and he will be able to get you.
I know, Naro.
Oh, okay.
I strategically made sure that he beat me because I know he is overconfident, so I did that on purpose. You now have a perfect opportunity. Just be aware of his overconfidence, and that will be his downfall. You're going to do fantastic. You always do.
I will do my best to remember everything you just said.
That was like arrogant and really nice.
Soda will walk up and put his hand on Ryu's shoulder and say, "Make him fart."
The Erikai battle cry. Make them fart.
I will do my best, Sota. And I'll start climbing.
I
the
know
tower.
you will.
I'm already gone.
Ryu, you confidently ascend the tower, knowing all the correct footholds. You climb with precision, purpose, and face Jin, who had his back turned to you, and he looks over his shoulder and he goes, "Are you gonna finally give me a challenge, Ryu? Or are you gonna fail like all the rest?" And he angles back around, faces you, and assumes a battle stance.
You tired yet?
Hardly. Haven't even broken a sweat.
Good. I grew tired of watching.
You're gonna wish you were back in the crowd. Don't worry, I'll send you there soon. And he slides his foot out.
Enough talking. I place one arm behind my back and one in front of me, assuming a sort of battle stance.
I don't actually think that our friend Ryu has a very good chance, but I didn't want to let him know because I like him so much.
Oh, come on.
Don't
He
be
could
ridiculous.
do it. He's better than any of us.
Yes, his aura's way bigger than ours.
Yes, that's what I was saying too. I also believe all of this.
All right, so each round of Shukara, you roll initiative.
Oh.
Let's see
Sure.
who goes first.
See that? What kind of initiative?
Arcana.
Nice. Oh, baby. All right, I got 21.
All right, Ryu, you get to go first. Kiz says, "Begin."
I will start to surge my aura slowly, developing it over my body, remembering the teachings of my father, my mother, and my Okita of how to build up a strong aura. And I know that there's a precise timing to unleashing my aura, and that you can't go too soon and you can't go too late. So I find that timing and unleash it.
Your aura surges forward, sending a wave of sand towards Jin, whose eyes grow wide, not expecting you to be able to channel and unleash your aura that fast, and he braces for impact. Jin raises his arms, your aura strikes him in the chest. He slides back, subtly digs in, and then trudges forward. And then he lowers his arms and says, "Not bad, but not good either." And he raises his fists upwards, and he starts to channel his aura that swirls around him like a sand tornado.
He's so powerful.
And then he funnels it forward into a stream in front of him, and then punches forward, sending the aura flying towards you.
It's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Roll me a fortitude save.
Look out, Ryu.
I place my hand out in front of me to block the aura surging towards me. 15.
Ryu says you raise your hand outward, punching into the funneled aura that is coming towards you. You disperse it, it scatters around you and carves a triangle of sand around you, and you dispersed his aura. And then Jin makes a puzzled look. He goes, And now let's roll initiative again.
You're doing great, Ryu.
Oh, shoot. I nat one.
Great.
I retract that.
All right, well, he goes first. He says, "Try and block this one." and he lowers his hands and opens his palms and flushes upward, raising a wall of aura in front of him that he then pushes outward, crossing his hands, overlapping them, sending this aura flying towards you. It looks like there's no hope of dodging it as it takes up the entire pillar. Roll me a fortitude save.
Non-nat 20.
So you crouch down, lowering your stance, and then channel an aura of your own, a very precise, thin aura that you shoot upward as you extend 2 fingers in front of you that slice through the wall that he just sent towards you, and more sand whirls around you, almost forming a tunnel between both of you that you're staring at each other through.
Sick. This is so anime.
Ryan, you deserve this, man. This is what you wanted.
You've been waiting.
I look to Jin through this tunnel we've created. You seem to be trying now.
I'm actually warming up.
This is incredible.
I've never seen anything like this.
I told you I knew that he had a chance. I was the first one to say that Ryu had a chance.
Ryu will reset his stance then and say to Jin, very well, then I'll try too.
Oh,
This is the most
nice.
anime shit I've ever heard.
Ryu just said the most incredible line I've ever heard. That was badass.
Jin does a little smirk, a little twinkle in his eye, almost like, finally, a worthy opponent. Send your aura, bro.
I'll start surging my aura around me again, get into a battle stance, make some arm movements like I'm honing this aura into a more condensed, maybe sphere or just embodiment in front of me. And then I thrust that forward towards Jin.
I've never seen that technique.
There's no way they can keep this up.
You hurl this sphere, this channeled, focused aura, and it's carving a trail through the sand on top of the pillar, whirling through the tunnel that's swirling around you. And Jin braces, and his eyes grow wide. No way! And he crosses his arms, and they pummel him directly in the chest, and he slides all the way to the edge of the pillar. He wanes his arms back and forth, tilts backwards, and says, "That's it. You're getting everything I have." So you know he's right on the edge of the pillar, and one more successful strike will send him over. Roll initiative.
Come on, Ryu.
You can do it, Ryu.
14.
Make him fart.
You see Jin's eyes become bloodshot. You see veins pulsing on his forehead. How about this? And he swipes one arm along the ground, all the way tracing along the pillar as he crouches down, and then stands up and swirls the arm upwards, sending a sphere of his own that is moving in a corkscrew motion, flying down the tunnel back at you. Roll me a fortitude save.
11.
So you go to channel some aura of your own to counter, but it moves way faster than you expected. You cannot channel the energy in time, and it strikes you in the stomach, sending you upwards into the air, and you force yourself back down to the ground with an aura of your own and land in a crouched position also on the edge of the pillar, and stand upright and look Jin dead in the eyes, both of you teetering on the edge with a swirling cyclone tunnel of sand connecting both of you.
I can't even see them. What's going on?
He could do it. He still hasn't fallen off yet. He could do it.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Let's end this now. I surge my aura one last time, regain my composure from this crouch position, stand up tall and strong, and just place a single hand out in front of me, and Super Saiyan Goku style pushing the spirit bomb, and I just do one final blast of my aura towards Jin. Well, hopefully one final.
Let's see.
Yeah, you don't get to make that call, man.
Ryu, your aura, this sphere you created in front of you, is larger than the tunnel that formed around you itself. And it scatters all of the sand that is formed around you. The tunnel disappears. Everyone can clearly see you channeling a massive aura in front of you. Jin cannot believe his eyes. You thrust it outwards. It carves through the pillar, carving rock, sand, everything. It's trembling back and forth. Jin says, impossible! impossible! And it hits him in the chest and sends him flying off the tower, flying 15, 20, 30 feet away from the tower, and he lands in a massive pile of sand, and your aura blast erupts outwards, making a large cloud that lingers over the group and settles, and you hear... Yes. You hear a fart come from the sand.
He did it!
Ryu, that was actually incredible.
Oh my god, awesome!
Ryu will let his aura fade, and I won't collapse, but I'll definitely start heaving. I was pushed beyond even the limits that I thought I had during this bout.
You see Kiz looking at you with bewilderment, and he says, "That's not possible." And then you hear a horn sound in the distance, signaling that the scouting party has returned, the one that your father, Haru, was in.
Father. And I jump off the tower.
Maybe you sail down using your aura in a way, landing softly in the sand, and then let out a big exhale, sweat beading from your forehead. You know you've exerted a lot of energy. And you hear Kiz say, "Dismissed."
I would like to go over to where Jin is.
Okay. You walk over to Jin, who is flailing his way out of the sand. That was lucky. It was only because I used so much energy on all of the other Wakai.
I place my hand out to help him up.
He looks puzzled, and you can tell he was having trouble getting out of the sand, and reluctantly he grabs your hand, and you pull him upright.
You are a strong opponent. I believe we will both awaken. It will be for the good of the Arakai.
Yeah, well, we'll see if you get so lucky in the ceremony. And then he billows his robes in front of you, sending sand towards you, and he makes haste towards the returning scouting party.
I will do the same.
So, Ryu, you rush back to the returning scouting party. You see several Arakai warriors returning, though you cannot remember exactly how many left. Something in your mind tells you it was more than this. And your mother appears at your side, and she puts her hand on your shoulder. And as you look up, you see no emotion on her face, stoically looking onward.
Ryu, being a young tiefling, also has his horns still growing in, and they tend to get irritated, so he'll scratch around his horns and look up to his mother and say, "Mother, I cannot see above the others. Do you see Father out there?"
She looks down at you and then just looks forward.
Ryu maybe doesn't know what to think right now, but he does feel this kind of sinking feeling in his chest, though maybe doesn't necessarily express it outwardly, and will just wait patiently as a good Arakai child.
You hear, "Out of the way." You see Vish moving through the crowd. He is an older Okita. His hair is pulled back into a tight ponytail. You see nearly every space on his long elf ears is filled with some sort of piercing gauge, which you know to mean he is a very high status within the Arakai. Many step out of his way, bow. Do you do the same?
I do.
He makes his way to the front of the group. You can sort of see through the crowd that these Arakai look very weathered, war-torn. There's cuts in their robes. They have gashes on them. They're still covered in sweat. And Vish says, "Report." And one of them says, "Vish, we were ambushed by a group of goblinoids, the Fiendom. We were caught off guard, outnumbered." And you see Vish nod. "How many were lost?" Several. He starts to list off some names. You're trying to listen through the crowd, the murmurs, trying to hear your father's name, and he finishes the list of names, and you do not hear Haru.
I clench at my mother's robes and just breathe a heavy sigh of relief.
Oh, and there's one more. Haru. He may still be alive, but he stayed back so the rest could escape. And Vish nods and says, "I see. He has sacrificed himself then. If he is alive, he will return on his own." Vish turns around and faces all the Arakai. "We must move. The Fiendom will know we are nearby. Gather what you must. We will leave as soon as possible. And he whips his robes around and starts to make his way through the crowd. All of the Erikai are murmuring amongst themselves, packing up tents, getting their belongings. Some are running up to tend to the wounds of the Erikai that have returned, talking amongst themselves. What do you do, Ryu?
I'm familiar with this ritual of needing to move around a lot as an Erikai on Desolus, escaping from the Fangdom and not leaving a trail and not staying in one spot too long is pretty familiar, so I'll go about doing some of the same things, but I will feel that sinking feeling in my chest once more, but again, not have an outward reaction, and I'll look to my mother to see how she is reacting right now.
You can see intensity in her face. She looks down for a brief moment, and she looks up, looks to you, and says, "You know what to do, Ryu." And she turns around and goes to assume her duties whenever they must evacuate quickly.
Ryu whispers to himself, "Yes, mother." He'll go to start rolling up the sleeping mats and maybe getting together the clothes and things like that. Those are kind of his duties.
Ryu, what's going on?
We're moving, Tonto, as we always do.
Yes, of course, I know this. I am ready.
Good, then you can help me with these sleeping mats.
Of course, I will do that.
What can I help with, Ryu?
You've completed your duties as well, Naro?
I think so.
Then please, grab the clothes hamper. Start placing our robes within.
You got it, boss.
Has anyone seen Sota?
Ryu,
No.
I'm sorry about your father. As you know, I lost my dad.
Sota, save your words.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you, you did great with Jin. I'm gonna go home and help my mom. She's gonna be excited to see me alive, but I think she's gonna be even more excited to know that you said I'm handsome too. And then he'll turn around and run, and then biff it, and then scramble himself back up, and then keep running, of course, with his fists to his hips.
Awesome.
Maybe tooting a couple times.
What is Sota eating that the rest of the clan is not eating?
Ryu, you hear, "If your dad is as skilled as you." And you look over and see the back of Jin as he is packing up. He's not even turning around to look at you. "I'm sure he's all right." And he throws a pouch over his shoulder and makes haste towards the rest of the group.
Ryu just continues about his duties in silence.
Another horn sounds, and you hear Vish yell out, "Form up. It's time to go."
Ryu, we better get out of here.
Yes, lead the way, Naro.
And then you get smacked in the back of the head and see Kiz, the Okita that was training you. "With the rest of the group, Wakai. Move now."
Ow, okay, jeez.
So you all run and fall into formation. A lot of the Wakai are usually in the center of the formation, so you are amongst each other with various Okita flanking you on all sides, protecting the Wakai, and you assume marching formation and make haste further into the dunes.
Ryu will begin to get curious, and he'll turn to Tantu, who he knows to be one of the more studious of the bunch, and say, "Tantu,
Yes, Ryu.
my father, he will know that we are moving, right?"
Yes, Ryu, of course he will. I'm sure he will find us. If he is anything like you, which I know he is, that's why you're his offspring. You're very tough. He is very tough. He will definitely find us.
Ryu will pause for a moment and stare down as he walks, scratch his horns again. "Do you think my father would have any reason to return to our previous camp?"
I just know that your father is very capable. He understands the Erikai very well. He knows that we will be on the move and he will find us. So, my friend Ryu, you are very strong. He is very strong. Do not worry.
Naro?
Yes?
I think I would like to talk to you now.
What's up?
Even if my father knew we were moving, he wouldn't know where to. And if he returns to our previous camp, he will be alone.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but he's pretty resourceful. I think he'd probably be able to find us, right?
I breathe out a sigh. You're probably right.
I kind of told you the same thing.
Are you wanting to leave him some sort of trail or something, or?
I don't want to give the Fangdom any way of being able to find us.
Smart. I'm sure Tantu would have thought of that too.
And as you kind of look back, you see various Okita blasting out their aura to recover the tracks left behind by the group, folding new sand over the prints and making it more difficult to track you.
Sota,
What is it, Ryu?
I have to take care of some business, and I know you are one who understands this.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Um,
Get ready. For my brothers! and I'll run up and pounce on Jin and just start wailing on him, but like super sissy little punches and stuff.
What the heck? You fat double lard. Get off.
For Wuja and Laika, and I am Sota.
The formation has a lot of commotion within it. Various Erikai are working their way through, trying to break up the fight. The flow of traffic is disrupted, and Ryu, you feel like there is an adequate opportunity to sneak off.
So yeah, I take this opportunity to try and sneak away from the rest of the Erikai and head back to our previous camp. Ryu knows the value of Erikai swords, and his father's sword would obviously be important to him. But most of all right now, he has just this strange feeling within his gut of a strong desire to ensure that his father is okay.
All right, roll me a stealth check with a +2 circumstance bonus.
19.
Right, so you're up on this dune that has a descending decline.
Classic.
And you jump out of the formation and slide down the dune and stay low and kind of cast an aura behind you as you're sliding down that covers the trail you're leaving, and reach the base of the dune and lay patiently for the formation to resume movement. And they do, and you watch them leave your sight and feel you can get up and run to the last known whereabouts of the ambush that your father was in.
I will do that.
Okay, so the sun is starting to set. It's casting long shadows as you run, almost like you're chasing your shadow towards your father. You do your best to remember how the returning Okita described the location of the ambush, what you picked up while you're in the formation. You run for over an hour before arriving at the top of a dune, looking down to a valley within the sand, and you see a bunch of scattered dead bodies.
I make my way down there, and this feeling deep within me starts to well up, and I call out, Father, Father, Haru, Father, it's for you.
Roll me a perception check.
8.
You're very flustered as you're descending the dune into the valley. You see the familiar armor of the Fangdom, the setting sun glistening off their breastplates, helmets, and you see a couple dark robes of the Erikai, and you start searching through the bodies. You turn over the first one. Although you recognize this Okita, he's not your father. You move through in a panic. You go to each Okita that you see on the ground. None of them are your father. Can you roll me another perception check?
Father. 18.
So as you investigate all of these fallen Okita, your Erikai clansmen, and know none of them to be your father, you feel a subtle sense of relief and a smirk start to form on your face, and then fade as you think for a moment and turn over your shoulder and you see a cluster of dead goblinoids, goblins, orcs, hobgoblins in a heap, and you see piercing through the back of one of these hobgoblins on top of the pile is a Kenoshi, an Erikai blade.
I make my way towards this blade, thinking to myself, it can't be.
You use all of your strength to lift the hobgoblin on top of the pile with the blade sticking out of its back, roll it off the pile, and the entire pile of bodies crumbles, and you see at the bottom of this pile is your father, Haru, who in his final moments killed perhaps 10 goblinoids.
Deep within Ryu is just this extreme turmoil and confusion about how to be feeling right now, and regardless of how much Ryu feels inside, outwardly he still expresses nothing, lays a hand on his father, and then looks to his sword.
His sword is covered with green blood of the goblinoids he slew in his final moments. It still shimmers as the sunlight hits it. You, for a moment, struggle to recognize the blade, but then remember a Kenoshi is attuned to its wielder and changes when an Okita wields it in an awakening ceremony. And now that Haru has died, it has resorted back to more familiar looking metal, though it does still have a unique shimmer to it and finish. And then you see the familiar handle with the loose wrappings that flow around it still being gripped by your father's hand.
I go over to the sword to begin cleaning it off.
So you take a loose piece of fabric and start wiping it off, and you hear, "Well, well, well, what have we got here?" And you turn around and see a orc lumbering down the dune.
Looks like we got a little Erikai boy.
And there's a goblin on his left.
Perhaps we should pluck his limbs off until he tells us where the others are,
says a hobgoblin. And now 10, 15, 20 of them crest the hill and start descending down towards you.
Uh-oh.
I place the sword in my hands and I say, I'll warn you, I'm the strongest Erikai in my class.
Is that right? Well, perhaps we should test that out.
Don't take another step closer. This is your final warning.
They all start to form around you in a half circle. You can barely see through the thickness of the crowd of goblinoids. They all have smirks on their faces, foaming at the mouth, just nothing but ill intentions in their eyes. And then you hear, "Leave him alone." And you turn over your shoulder and see Vish standing there, gripping the hilt of his Kenoshi with 2 other Erikai flanking him on each shoulder. And you hear, "Oh, is this the rescue party?" And your fellow Erikai start to descend into the valley as well. You are now placed between 3 Erikai behind you and a small army of goblinoids before you.
I feel proud of my Erikai brethren and believe in them to be able to handle this situation. And I say to the orc, I told you, that was your final warning. And I draw the sword.
As you draw the sword, you feel a hand rest on your hand and look up and see Vish as he pushes your hand down to lower your blade and says, "Get behind us, Ryu."
Yes, Okita. And I sheath the blade.
And he looks over his shoulder and says, "You have much to learn." And he looks forward back at the goblinoids and says, "Let's get this over with." And all of the Erikai draw their blades and put them precisely in the center of their faces and assume a battle stance crouched low. And then all of the goblinoids start to draw their weapons and they're snickering. And then they charge forward and your Erikai clansmen rush forward to meet them and engage in a fierce battle before you. Many goblinoids are falling. Their forces are dwindling and it looks as though they might succeed, and then more goblinoids flood into the valley and start to surround your Erikai clansmen. Vish remains standing in the center, though the other 2 Erikai are stabbed through their hearts by orcs, hobgoblins. Arrows are raining down upon them from the peak of the dunes, and it feels all hope is lost.
Ryu, seeing all his comrades fall around him, all the Erikai and Okita that he looked up to as such strong warriors, is now realizing the true threat of the Fangdom and the situation that he's put his clan in, all because he, in his mind, selfishly went back to look for his father in a moment of weakness, and is now just seeing that what is happening now is all because of him.
So Ryu, as you see the 2 Erikai fall and only Vish remain fighting bravely, you feel a tremendous sense of guilt that one of the proudest Erikai is now going to die simply because you did not follow orders. And you clench your fists and grit your teeth. You look back at your father laying dead on the hot sand, and you see a few beads of sand start to raise in front of you. More beads of sand follow. An aura starts churning around you, picking up more sand. Your vision starts to grow dark. You lose your peripherals. You become blind with rage. You feel power you've never felt before surging through you, and then it goes black. And sometime later, suddenly your sight returns. You see a heap of dead goblinoids before you. You're holding your father's sword covered in green blood. The sun behind you casting a long, dark shadow across the dead soldiers. And something else gives you pause as you see the silhouette of your horns protruding further than you would expect. Their long, curved horns. You're trembling, you feel exhausted, and as you observe the shadow, you see the horns start to shrink and return to meet your head, and you reach up and feel shrinking horns that revert back to their original size. Your hand is shaking and you drop the sword and you look to Vish, who is laying on the ground on the edge of a crater that has formed around you as he's holding his side, covered in blood and dirt, looking at you with bewilderment, and he says, "Impossible." And that is where we'll end our session.
Impossible.
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 Was that enough anime for you guys? That was pretty
It's over
anime.
9,000.
Hey, it's going to be a
Incredibly
two-parter.
anime.
Sorry, Ryu's got a big story, man. You know, well, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Sorry
So,
for all the
yes.
haters.
Cool, that was fun. Man, I love you guys playing NPCs. So much fun. But you know what? I should shut up because we're going to talk about that in the downtime. And the
Oh, wait,
downtime
shut up, Zach.
observations,
Shut up. It's my
we'll
episode.
react to the
Yeah,
most
do it.
recent
Shut
episode.
up.
Wait,
and
wait.
all
Can
sorts
Tantu tell us to shut up?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
would like you all to shut
Shut up. Great.
shut
Excellent.
up.
Cool. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy Mortals and Portals, please, we would just really appreciate it if you left us a good rating on your podcast distributor because, you know, algorithms and sorting and all that stuff, and it just helps people find the show, and we really want to grow the audience, grow the community. It encourages us to keep doing this, and we really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, if you could please take the time to do that, thank you so much. And I want to thank the listeners. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this community. It's just been amazing. We love you guys. I want to thank Joel for all of his amazing, incredible, meticulous editing. This dude has a lot going on. He's got a lot of things to juggle, Stanhope style, and he's just doing a fantastic job. Really, really, really appreciate it, Joel. Thank you so much.
You
I
got
want to
it,
thank
dude.
Taryn for his excellent sound design. Another dude who's got a lot going on. I don't want to just start listing all the things that Taryn's doing, but the dude's busy and he's doing a great job, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I can't wait to hear all the aura sounds you cram into this episode. It's going to be so much fun. And I want to thank Adam for all of his excellent artwork. Guess what? Adam's got a lot going on too. Adam's a super busy guy. We're not asking for a sob story here. I'm just telling you, this guy's busy. So thank you so much for cranking out the artwork. This guy makes original artwork every single week on Patreon. You guys, our patrons, get a vote on it. Tell him what to draw, and this dude churns it out in literally 2 to 3 days. I mean, incredible. I couldn't do that. And I would like to thank Ryan for his incredible music. I have a feeling that Ryan's going to go super hard on the Ryu Origin episodes. And I
It's
cannot
fine,
wait
because
to
he doesn't
see-
have anything going on.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything
Right,
going on.
so much.
Hey,
This
guess
is the
what?
most important thing in my life.
Yeah, Ryan is also super busy. So when he comes back from all of his daily responsibilities, he lumbers over to his keyboard, sits down in a dark lit room, and cranks out some sick bangers. So thank you, Ryan, for not sleeping and making awesome music. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, so we'll see you next time, mortals.
Well, my wish is for us all to be worthy.
And a wish it shall remain.
This guy has like real BBEG energy.
Ryu will absorb the bitch and pussy insults.
Hey, Joel, I'm
And,
sorry. I know you gotta cut all this
Yeah,
out.
just kidding.
That's fine.